All right, so welcome back, everybody. Today I want to talk about GMC because I don't understand their market positioning or their business plan for what the heck they're trying to be. I think I understand why GM has kept GMC, and unfortunately it's not because they want to build a world-class product. So stay tuned. Let me get this rant off my chest. I would love for you to subscribe, like the video, and please leave me a comment below. I'd love to know your thoughts. Are you a fan of GMC? Are you not? Hey, just let me know. So the reason I bring this up is because I actually really like GMC products, but a couple of times I've been in a position where I'm like, I like it, but why would I pay my money for it? And this has kind of played around in my brain for a while, and I want to kind of talk about it, get your opinion on it, get your thoughts on it. So GMC started back in 1902 as a commercial division for GM. While they took Chevy products and rebadged them, new grills, different badges, things like that, and resold them, they also were in the heavier truck and bus market, things like that. And so for most of their history, that's what they've done, is they've taken rebadged GM products and sold them. Now, this is not bad by itself. When you think about what VW is doing, the current platform they've got, that they've taken the Golf and the Jetta and they've built up to multiple different products that include SUVs, it's an exceptional platform that has been really, really flexible for them. GM, through the bad years of the 70s and 80s and 90s, they had a lot of generic platforms and maybe out-of-date engines and transmissions, and they just spread it around to a bunch of divisions, and they ended up with a lot of meh products, honestly. So consider that platform sharing is not unusual. It's very common in the industry. It's how much you work to differentiate those. Ford once had Ford, Mercury, and Lincoln. Mercury went away. Chrysler had Plymouth, Dodge, Chrysler, and other brands, of course. Plymouth went away as that value leader. General Motors had GMC, Chevy, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, Cadillac, Hummer, Saturn. They owned Saab for a while. They spread some platforms over there too. I mean, so that's 9 right off the top of my head, brands that they were trying to support. So when the downturn, the recession of 2008, 2010 hit, they were forced into bankruptcy and they had to shed a bunch of brands. Saab ended up going under, Hummer was gotten rid of, Pontiac and Saturn were all closed down. And to everyone's surprise, Oldsmobile was gone too, which is unfortunate. My family was an Oldsmobile family for a long time. They kept Buick and they kept GMC. Now, Buick does not have strong sales in America, but it is absolutely amazing in China. So I think they kept it for that reason. And then GMC. So why keep GMC? How does it fit in there between Chevy, Buick, and Cadillac? Where's GMC fall when you can get really luxurious Cadillacs? Now, to be fair, I think they've done a relatively good job of trying to differentiate Chevy's, GMC's, Buick, and Cadillac offerings. They're not just slapping different badges on it. They are giving them different interiors, different exterior styling, different packages. But that's also where things start to fall apart for me. What is GMC? On the one hand, they've got SUVs based on the Tahoe or the Suburban that almost compete with Cadillacs. They offer car-based SUVs which compete with Buicks and Cadillacs and the Chevys. They're in this weird price zone where they're near luxury, but that's where Buick exists. Okay? At the other side of it is their slogan, "We are professional grade." Well, when you think of professional grade, you think of contractors. You've got your roofers and your carpenters, painters, brick masons, whatever it happens to be, professional grade. But yet those trucks from GMC are more expensive than their Chevy counterparts. And GM has given GMC that really handy rear tailgate. So if GMC is focusing more on professionals, contractor grade, why are they more expensive? If you're a painter or a brick mason, why would you buy the more expensive truck if you know your work is going to beat it up? So we are professional grade, but we're also offering near luxury SUVs and trucks. I don't understand what their market is and what they're actually going for. Now, their sales have not been terrible, but they haven't been tearing up the world either. They're not out there challenging the Hondas and the Toyotas of the world. And certainly Cadillac is supposed to be that luxury brand for GM. And so you're left with GMC. Now, personal story, several years ago, my wife and I had gone to a auto show, and one of the last vehicles we came around to was the brand new Acadia. Now, I love the Acadia, and I really love the terrain. I do think GMCs are producing some fantastic looking vehicles, and I like their interiors. They're very, very comfortable. But here's where it breaks down for me. When we were looking at that vehicle, I was in the driver's seat, my wife was in the passenger seat, and she looked over at me and she said, "Why aren't you considering a GMC?" And I'm looking around at the interior thinking, why am I not? Right? But here's the problem. Buick interiors are nicer. And GMC is nothing compared to Lexus. Now, once you start looking at the trim level, the Denali's, they get up to Lexus pricing. So if I'm going to look, and the base models, I admit, they're more affordable. They're not cheap, but they're more affordable than Lexus. But if I'm looking for something that's near luxury, which Buick or Lincoln, Acura, even Infiniti would kind of, the Genesis, right, product line, would fall into that. The GMC interiors don't live up to that. That's what I'm trying to say. If you just sit in a GMC interior and you never compared it to anything else, you'd be like, hey, this is pretty nice. But the instant you go sit in something else, you're like, ew, cheap plastic, weird designs, you know. So are they stretching for that near luxury? Because they don't live up to it. Their pricing says they want to be up there. But if you have the money for a Lexus, why would you buy a GMC? Because ultimately, their platforms are just Chevys. Why would I pay more for a slightly better exterior, slightly better interior, pay near Lexus, Infiniti, Acura prices if I'm still going to have the same engine, transmission, reliability, and durability of a Chevy product? Why are they selling fancy, chromed out, really good looking cars, SUVs, trucks, if they're professional grade when the contractors I know buy Chevys and Fords? I don't understand where they're trying to exist in the marketplace. It seems to me like they're trying to get that weird space between a Chevy but not quite a Lexus, BMW, Mercedes, Infiniti, Acura, right? There's a narrow little swath there, but that's where Buick exists as well. New GM is doing a lot of really good things in terms of market differentiation and styling. Really think they're making some good cars and some attractive cars. But GMC, it feels like they're trying to make it work and they're putting it in competition with one of their other brands. Exactly what they used to do through the 2000s when they had 8, 9 brands all running at the same time. So you have to wonder why, and I think it boils down to one simple thing, and it's not cost sharing, right? Creating a platform and having a Chevy truck and a GMC truck off of it allows you to spread those development costs out a little bit, increases your profitability. I don't think it actually has anything to do with that. I think that a Chevy product that becomes a Buick, that becomes a Cadillac, lots of cost sharing there. I think GMC exists for one reason alone. and that is truck sales. I don't know who's buying GMC trucks. I think they're beautiful. I'm not a contractor. I would own one over a Chevy because I think they're much, much more attractive, although they're more expensive. But it's purely to boost the numbers on GM truck sales because they report truck sales as the Silverado and the Sierra combined. So without GMC, Chevy is nowhere close to what Ford sells with the F-150. But combine them together, and all of a sudden GM or Chevy looks a lot more competitive. And I think that's their sole reason for existing. GM is putting resources in, they're producing products that are pretty good, squeezed into this weird spot, but I truly, truly believe the only reason GMC exists is to make GM look more competitive and not totally blown out of the water by the F-150 and its excellence. So let me know your thoughts below, but that's my feeling on GMC today.